welcome back to the next episode in our Kansas City Royals Out of the Park 23 sim. If you didn't see the previous episodes, we just finished our first season, finished in the third wildcard spot, beat the AL Central champ White Sox in the wildcard round, and then took the 97-win Angels to the brink, but lost in Game 5 of the ALDS. Our manager, Mike Scioscia, retired. Our franchise legend, Zach Greinke, retired. And now we move into the offseason. I do have offers out for some of my open coaching positions. I went with John Gibbons for the major league position. Offered him a 3-year deal. I'm anticipating he'll accept it. The main reason is his relationships are really good relative to the rest of the competition out there. I also don't mind that he has experience. There were a lot of guys without any managing experience, but none of them had good relationships. It was all a bunch of guys with average relationships. So what is this team going to look like next year? It's a good question. We got to create room so there's room for Melendez in the lineup. Like, put up a 126 WRC plus and 295 plate appearances. We got to find an everyday role for him. That's a catcher. So what do we do with Sal Perez? Well, Sal Perez could play first base. I'm a little concerned that his postseason was really bad. You can see he struck out in 48.6% of his plate appearances. And that's just crazy. It came right after there was a dip in his contact in his latest scouting report. So I sent my scout to scout him again. My plan is to have Sal Perez be my first baseman next year. I think it's more fun to keep him around because he's kind of like a heart and soul of the Royals type guy. He'll earn 20, and then 22 million. If he falls off a cliff, that's painful for a team like the Royals to have this on the books. I think I could still trade him for decent, for some decent talent, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep him around. I think that feels a little more realistic, but I have my scout out checking him out. If his contact falls again with that postseason performance, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can keep him. I'm going to do my best to fight my instinct to trade Sal Perez so he can play first base, because Josh Bell, he came in and was really good. He's 30 years old. And as a first baseman, he wants a 6-year deal worth $21.2 million per year, which isn't crazy, but just not a deal that I'm planning to give to Josh Bell at this point. Mondesi, I think, will be back as my second baseman. We're going to need to do something if he just tanks against righties again, though. I'm also going to get him some more center field experience in spring training to up that, because he has 70 outfield range. Then we've got Bobby Witt, of course, is going to be back at third base, put up 3.9 WAR, just a 96 WRC plus. So it wasn't like a superstar season with the bat by any means. He was pretty average. Not bad for a rookie who turned 22 in June. He is open to a long-term deal, but it's kind of crazy, man. This would be like a league minimum deal. These would be his 3 arbitration years. Like, he wants $25 million in his last arbitration year, and then for his 4 free agency years, he wants $32.8 million. I basically feel like I'm paying market value for him. I'm not getting any bargain for guaranteeing him all this money. He wants $21.5 million per year over a 9-year deal, $194 million deal. Not willing to do that at this point. If he'd proven he was a superstar, I think we could talk about this. I'd like this lower for guaranteeing all this money after 1 year in the majors, but I'm not giving him that deal. He's going to be on the league minimum next year. Nikki Lopez definitely back as our shortstop with this glove that he has. I'd love to extend him long term, but he just doesn't seem interested. I've approached him a few times. Benintendi is out as a free agent. I don't plan to bring him back. I mean, he had a nice season when he was healthy, but I think we need a power bat, to be honest. So we'll have a hole at left field. Taylor and Merrifield, I think, will be back on their roles in center and right field. JD Martinez is a free agent. He was very good for us. He is a power bat. Maybe if I could get him down to a 1 or 2 year deal, I'd consider it. But at 35, I'm not giving him a 4-year deal. So I think our big holes here are left and DH. I think Dylan Moore will be back as a backup. I think Kyle Isbell will be back as a backup. I would like to go out and get a backup catcher, even though Perez is able to play catcher. And yeah, I'm not, so Perez and Melendez can both DH sometimes without worrying about then being out of a catcher. I'd love to get like a guy who can play multiple positions, including catcher, like a Kyle Farmer or a Dalton Varsho, that type of guy. Even if neither of them are attainable, we'll see. Obtainable. So I think the 4-man bench. So we'll need a left fielder, DH. We'll have a 4-man bench of somebody who can play catcher, Moore, Isbell, and then somebody else. I think that somebody else will probably come from the minor leagues. Let me update this real quick. I think that could be Nick Lofton, who wasn't good, but I think appears ready. He wasn't great in AAA last year, but I think appears ready for a bigger role. I think also it could be Michael Massey, who had a decent... No, he didn't really have a great season. He was really good at double, and then I promoted him. That's what I was thinking of. So I think one of those two could be a bench guy for me next year. Pitching side of things, we've got Singer, Hendricks, Keller, Marsh, and Kowar all in the starting rotation discussion. I think the top 3 are locks. I think Marsh is pretty close to a lock. We've then got a bunch of guys who can compete and step in if there are injuries. Carlos Hernandez, Daniel Lynch, John Hazley, Kyle Bubick. We've got a couple guys in AAA who can step in, including Angel Zerpa, who had a really nice season he started in high A, then went to double A, finished in AAA with a 2.33 ERA and 58 AAA innings. So I think we've got plenty of depth at rotation. I'd really like to see a number 2 or 3 starter. I'm not sure I'm going to have the money to do that. We'll see. The rest, the back end of the bullpen is back. Barlow, Stalmount, Garrett. Some of these guys in here, I'm not sure what to do with yet. I think Spear and Brent's, based off of the fact that they're lefties, I think they both have options left. They do. I think they'll be back. Sir Anthony Dominguez, arbitration eligible. I think I've got arms that can replace him out of some of these guys. I don't think I need to pay that guy more than the league minimum. Joe Piamps is out of options, so if I get rid of him, that'll be why. But yeah, so I think, it looks like as of now, Joey Gallow is going to be a free agent. He plays left field. He's a huge power bat. I'd like to get into the market for him, to be honest. I mean, he's the antithesis of the type of player with the low contact and the avoid case that I normally like to target. But I think he really is the type of player that my team lacks. Now, as of now, I should have money to get into the market for at least one of the big free agents. You can bet that I'll check in on Carlos Correa. If for some reason I was able to get him, I think that he would push Lopez to second base, and then that would push Mondesi to the outfield or the bench. So I'm not scared to go after him either. I think in other sims I've done, though, it's taken like $35 million to get him, $35 to $40 million per year to get him. He's coming off probably an MVP season, so I doubt that I'll bring him in. Xander Bogaerts, I don't see as a guy that I'd bring in just because he's not an elite shortstop. I don't need a third baseman. I guess I could teach him to be my starting left fielder. Hadn't given that a thought really, but I could keep an eye on that because I want to add a big bat. So I'm open to like bringing in Xander and making him a left fielder, because after that it really falls off with bats. You have Josh Bell there, Wilmer Flores, Jose Iglesias, AJ Pollock, but just a lot of kind of meh bats here. I guess I could bring in Jose Abreu to DH. Michael Brantley's not a terrible option depending on how many years he wants, although he wasn't very good last year. So we'll see. I think Gallo will be our number 1 target, but we'll definitely check in on Correa and Bogaerts too. I think we might be able to get one of them. I think it'll blow most of our budget. And it will preclude me from bringing another starter, which I'm actually fine with. I think we can survive with the starting staff we have, with the defense we have, the bullpen we have, the ballpark we play in. I think the offense is a much bigger need at this point. So, let's jump into it here and figure out how we can help the Royals take the next step. All right, we're at free agency filing day. we have $47 million to spend. We actually have less than that because remember that I leave these two things zeroed out. So essentially we have, that's not the page I meant to go to. So essentially we need like 15 million left. So what's 47 minus 15? Like 32 million. So we have probably about 32 million to spend, but we could also come back and like unload some salary or go under slot on the draft again this year. So, you know, I think 35 to 40 million to spend really. If we want to get crazy, we could go there. So I DFA'd some guys that were like out of options or weren't going to play a role. I think I was able to get like one trade maybe. Let me see. Here's December, November. Yeah. So I traded Anthony Alford to Cincinnati, who they're paying him $3.4 million in arbitration. Good luck. And I traded this 23-year-old pitcher that they were interested in, who was not good in high A last year. And I'm pretty happy with the return, man. I got Travis Swaggerty, who his bat might not be great. He is 25 now, but the 70 outfield range, I mean, I'll take it all day. He hit okay in Double-A last year, and then really well in Triple-A in a short span. I think he must have gotten traded, right? Oh, he's released by Pittsburgh? That's crazy. I don't know why. Yeah, I think it's because I have the minor league roster limits on, and some guys are getting released that maybe shouldn't. We also got Michael Ciani, another 70 outfield range center fielder. Really happy about this too. He was a 4th-round pick of the Reds in 2018, and then we got this guy who probably will not turn into anything for us, but we'll see. So that was the only trade that I made. We did hire John Gibbons as the manager. Pretty happy about that. I don't know why it's set on that team. Gets along well with everybody on the team pretty much. Yeah, I'm excited about this hiring. I think it's a good hiring. And so now we have holes to fill. Like I said, I think this might be our rotation, with the 5th spot being like a toss-up between Kowar, Hernandez, Hazley, Bubick, Lynch. I mean, I'd like to add another starter and bump everybody down a peg, but I just don't know that money-wise we're going to be able to prioritize that if we want to add a big bat. I would love to add a bullpen arm. I think all these guys who are under none specified are kind of on the outside looking in at the roster. You can see I have 7 relievers here. I'll probably carry 8. But I think even a guy like Hazley and Spear, I think could be optioned if we find the right reliever on the right deal. So I think, priority A is upgrading the offense, and I haven't like gone in and like updated my lineups. Let's just see what Gibbons wants to do. Kyle Isbell is our DH. That's painful. So yeah, we'll go out. We'll try to get a left fielder. We'll try to get a DH. And maybe some bullpen. And we've got 35 to 40 million to play with. I think that prices us out of Correa's market, but apparently the Pittsburgh Pirates are interested in him, which would be amazing. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to sign him to a 9-year deal with an average annual value of 42 million. Could we? Yeah, we could. I don't think we're gonna though. We could get Joey Gallo. It's looking like he wants an 8-year. $233 million deal, 29.2 per. Little longer of a deal than I was hoping he would be looking for. And I think this is the kind of guy who can blow up in your face because of his contact issues. Last year he struck out in only 29.6% of his plate appearances. He managed a 137 WRC plus with only a 208 BABIP. That's actually pretty impressive. He could play left field for us. Yeah, I'm very interested in trying to sign him. I also mentioned that, I could maybe try to sign Xander Bogaerts and like shift him to left field, which would be kind of crazy, but he's not better than any of my infielders at any of the infield positions. I think he's a backup plan to Joey Gallo. He's glad Gallo seems somewhat enthused that we're interested in him. I think beyond that, if we look at free agents, and maybe look at all batters and or let's look at yeah, let's look at all batters and look at like batter ratings. Let's just like, but actually let's look at the default first and go by overall so we can see people's demand. And this is where I kind of like just look like, is anybody, you know, looking really low here? Like Brandon Belt, only 9 million, a little higher up on the list here, you know, relative to the salaries around him. Like Josh Bell wants 24 million. You've got Michael Conforto out here who wants like 7.6 mil. How much did he play? He did not play last year until the postseason, I don't think. So yeah, there are some options for DH out here. I think I might kind of wait out the market a bit, see if some guys' demands come down. You know, you got Justin Turner at 13.3 per year. He didn't have a great year in LA though. He was below league average. He wants 3 years at the age of 38, which he's not going to get from us. Jesus Aguilar at just 11 million. But how many years does he want? 4 years. You know, these guys won't sign for that many years, but it's just good to see where they stand. Yeah, I think here you get into some like price ranges that'd be more interesting. But I mean, Cole Calhoun is just, he's not the answer. Estevan Florial at just the age of 25. I'm surprised that he's a free agent. He's got some issues, but he's not a terrible player. He's out of option years though. So that's definitely an issue. Kevin Kiermaier's out here only asking for 4.8 million. That's intriguing if I needed a center fielder. Trey Mancini wants 6 million. He had a decent season for Baltimore, but not really like the DH bat that I'm looking for. JD Martinez looks like he wants 11.6 million. Tommy Pham is an interesting name. So I think I'm kind of, what kind of year did Santander have? Below average. I'm thinking like I'll go after one of the big guns and then wait out the market for the second bat. I'd like to acquire 2 bats, a left fielder and then a bat. So reliever wise, let's check that out. Just see if there are any guys who are asking for not much. I mean, you got Oliver Drake here at 3.5, Rosenthal just 2 million. Here's kind of like the part of the market that I'll probably play in. I don't see myself offering that kind of money up to those guys, but like Drake, I could see going after. Just 1 year, 3.4 million. I think I'm gonna hold off on this for now. I think I'll have some options out here. I also don't think I have to add a reliever, but I'd like to add 1 or 2. I think Rosenthal at 2 million is a really good buy. He didn't pitch anywhere last year. Is that right? He didn't pitch anywhere last year. Correct. Oh, well, that's weird, Trevor. Why didn't you pitch anywhere? What's up with that? So he signed as a free agent. Granted free agency. He signed a 1 year. So he's a free agent until. Oh, he was hurt. He was hurt the whole year. It looks like he was transferred to the 60-day IL. So when did he get hurt? Oh, he was out the whole year, injured with a shoulder injury. My scout still thinks real. Oh, that's OSA. Why am I on OSA? My scout doesn't think much of his control, but for 2 million, that might be worth the risk. You've got some other interesting names out here. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna start by making an offer to Gallow. I think that's where this begins, and I'd really like to do much shorter than 8 years if he's willing. He wants a no trade clause. Goodness gracious, man. So let's see. Let's just kind of play around with some stuff here. Let's start at 22. Use for all. Let's give him an opt-out after year 3. And bump up the money in those last 2 years. To like 30. So this would be a 5-year. It would be 25.2 mil per year over 5 years. I don't think he's going to be at all enthused by this, considering he wants 8 years and 29 million. I'm giving him an extra opt-out. So he's got an opt-out at the age of 31. Let's just see what he says. So he's not really interested in that. But he brought his ask down big time. He brought it down to 7 years and 26.4 instead of what was it, like 8 or 9 years at 29, over 29 million. So he's brought it down a good bit. Let's see if we can get him to come down to 6 years. He doesn't want that opt-out. That's fine. I won't give you the opt-out. Just use for all. I find that easier to like just decide when to bump it up. So I need to come with a higher AAV than I came with last time. So this would be a 6-year deal at 25.6. Let's bump this up a little more. I mean, I think he might be somewhat into this deal if he's willing to do 6 years. He might, you know, he came down to 7. So it'd go 22, 22.5, then 26.5, 26, 28, 30. It would be a 6-year deal, $164 million. He's looking for 7 years, $184 million. I'm right at his. I'm less than $1 million from his AAV. I'm just saying, why don't we do 6 instead of 7 years? Let's see what he says. He's not interested in that, and he took his ask back up. So he really wants 7 years. Ugh. What if we do this? Would you be willing to do a team option? Yeah. How about this? I typically will only do one team option. The second is a player option. I think you can kind of finagle the system a bit if you do too many team options. I'm trying to keep it around 22 for the first 2 years. And then we can start to increase it. Let's go to 25, 25. Let's go 25 here. And then for the 2 options years, let's go 30 and see where that lands us overall. That's a lot of money for a guy who might just strike out a lot. But I feel like this is the time to go for it. We've got Bobby Witt cheap. We still got Sal Perez around. We've got a cheap young pitching staff. I mean, this contract is kind of crazy for the Kansas City Royals to sign. I really, I think if you watched my Orioles sim and Out of the Park 21, you see how I normally handle small to mid-market. I don't really go out and hand out deals like this very often. I typically would explore the trade market first, which maybe I should do, but I don't know. I'm just kind of like playing this a little differently. Like, it's just kind of fun to hand out a major deal to somebody with, like, when you have the 20th biggest payroll. I think maybe I should explore the trade market some, right? Because Gallow's not going to come cheap. I'm not backing out of that. I'm going to offer him a deal here. Here are players on the trade block. Yadiel Hernandez. There are some outfielders out here, but nobody who's really like a game breaker that we need. Any good relievers out here? No, not really. All right. So let's go to strength overview and just see, just look at the left fielders around the league. Yelich, Alvarez. Oh, Mark Canha is the 4th best. That seems crazy. Schwarber's the 5th best. Wow, they must have had good years. Dalton Varsho is a guy that I mentioned earlier because he's got the ability to play catcher too, which I think is great. He just had a really nice season for them though at the 114 WRC plus. He's due for arbitration next year. Let's just see if I hit this. Okay, so they want basically Melendez or Witt, which obviously isn't happening, but sometimes you can be you can just identify other guys that they like by doing something like this. Being I need you to retain some money. I was I'll give it some thought. Okay, who can I put in? And then you'll start to get some names that maybe they're interested in and scan to see if some of these are names you want to get rid of. Lovelady is one of the pitching depth guys I'm definitely willing to deal. Now, bumped up to 65. I'm still willing. Let's bump it down a little. Man, he gets really offended when I go from 70 to 75. So he's willing. He's willing to do this. And then 75, he wants Bobby Witt. Let me see who else. Who else did he have here besides Lovelady? I mean, Tyler Anderson there, he's on a minor league deal. I don't really allow myself to put guys who are in their 30s, not on the 40-man, into these deals when I say make this work now. So I'm not going to do that. But, you know, I think Collins and Coleman are guys that I'm willing to deal. Collins is a bat in high A. He's first baseman. He could play some corner for you. He's only 21. He had a nice season. Like, I think he's a good bat, but I would deal him. I would deal him for sure. And then we could put Coleman in too. Let's see what happens if we do this. If we say I want to do that, and I'll put Coleman in, and you're interested in Lovelady too. And then we take this down, and we take Melendez out. Won't do it. So he's pretty interested in Alec Marsh. I don't really know that I want to move him. So what I'm thinking I might do is shop Collins. All outfielders and just see what happens. Well, that no, I can take on Mookie Betts or Giancarlo Stanton's deals. That's thrilling. Mookie was about league average last year. Man, he signed for so much longer. It's crazy. Just see like how much of the deal are you like willing to eat? Okay, not a lot. Not even 25%. Okay, cool. No, I don't want to take on Mookie Betts' contract. I really do not. I don't know. Let's go back to the D-backs here to Varsho. Like I feel like there's a deal to be had here, but I'd rather not give up one of my young arms, especially that young arm. So let's start with Collins, and then put Coleman and Lovelady in. Let me just see something. Not into that. Identify like one more guy that he likes that I'd be willing to deal. Man, he's not messing around. He wants all basically guys I don't want to give up. Okay, let's just throw this guy in. We'll go down to 0. We'll take Alec Marsh out. No, he's not really interested. So Bubic is a guy. Okay, so now we've identified that he really likes Bubic, and Bubic is a guy who I like. I like his arm a lot. But like, if I take out Collins, I mean, I think the deal as they're asking for it is just too steep. Like, I just don't see that being our best option here to give up that many assets, even if none of them are superstars. You know, Dalton Varsho is also not a superstar. So, Chris Bryant, that would be funny. 30 years old and he's got 6 years left. Might as well just sign Gallow. Brandon Lowe. He's Lowe, right? Or is he Lau? The friggin' Rays and their lows and lows. He did not have a very good year last year. He was good before that. This would be a guy I'd be interested in. I mean, you know, his profile is not exactly like I normally go for, but like, let's just see what the Rays are thinking. Like, I have no player who makes it work. None? How much is he making? 5.25. So you're telling me, like, if I was willing to give you Bobby Witt, you're insulted by it. No, get out of here, man. And MJ Melendez, what if I put I've got a great sense of humor. No, oh my God. All right, so they're not trading him. Clearly, they have no intent in trading him. I do wonder, like, you know, I doubt we could pull Tyler O'Neill away. I think this would take an absolute massive haul. Oh, he signed a contract. 8 years, $142 million. That's actually not terrible. You're eating up some of his free agent years. So he's like 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So until he's like 34. Just, I mean, I'm offering Witt and Melendez, and he's not accepting. So, oh my goodness. So okay, I'll add Kyle Isbell in. So now I want to like identify other guys he's interested. I don't think there's any way I'm going to peel Tyler O'Neill away from them, but I'm going to try. I mean, I'm willing to trade a lot of these guys in a deal for O'Neill. Got 4 guys over there. What if we take it to 55? No, that's too high. Yeah, I really don't think I have a prayer. They're really interested in Barlow and Klein. Klein is like a beast of a stopper coming, man. And I think he could be there next year for me. But let's just see. All right, so I took Witt out. Oh, man, they're still... All right, I mean, I'd probably be willing to trade Michael Taylor, honestly, in this trade. But Melendez, I'm not willing to trade. Yeah, so there's, like, no way to do this without giving up Melendez or Witt. I mean, this is... Will Klein... I mean, there's no untouchable pieces here, but 4 good pieces that they're really interested in, and still it requires Melendez or Witt. So... this part of the episode is for those of you who request to see me play the game out more. This is kind of how I do it. It's kind of tedious, huh? I don't know. I don't really want 33-year-old Mark Canha on my team. Kyle Schwarber, I mean, maybe I'd take him as my DH, but I don't feel like paying him $20 million a year to do it. Rosa Reyna is on the Reds, who apparently... Oh, Brandon Williamson's a really good pitching prospect. Yeah, top 20 pitching prospect. Okay. How did Rosarena do? Oh, he slumped big time on the Reds. His BABIP was down. He'll hit arbitration next year and is due $5 million. I mean, he was going great guns for the Rays, and then with the Reds was pretty bad. I doubt that I'll be able to like pull something up. I'm not like overly interested in Rosarena either. Yeah, I'm not going to pursue him too much. I mean, Eloy put up 1.1 WAR and he was healthy. What's up with that? Don't you want to get out from under that deal, Chicago? It's clearly an overpayment. Holy shit. Oops. Sponsors hoping on that. So, you're telling me I could trade Bubic for Eloy? My scout doesn't like it. I like it. He's not a great defender. He's coming off a so-so year, whereas BABIP was actually good. I mean, let's see what else they're interested in. Interested in Vinny Pasquantino, aren't we all? Oh, his contact went up. And his eye potential went up. Vinny's improving. Yeah, Kyle Isbell, I mean, I think I could very easily include. He's not sure yet what to do. It's a very short list. Why is Tyler Gentry on this list? He's been showing improvement, yeah. But I think I'd be willing to include him. think the best thing might be here just trading Bubic straight up for Eloy, which makes me think I should probably, just to be safe, shop Bubic around for outfielders. Yeah, there's Eloy, by far the best name out here so far. I could get DJ Stewart from the Orioles. Heyo. Not a lot doing here. I can get Mookie Betts again. Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah, I mean, I think Bubic is a good young pitcher. He's 25. He's a ground baller. He pitched well for me in 105 innings, but I have a lot of guys. I think he's one of the best of my young arms. But I think this is a trade that, like, one of those trades that makes sense for me for sure. It's going to eat up a bit of salary, but I think Eloy has another level in him, obviously. Let's see if we can get them to eat more of the deal. Yeah, let's put that guy in. Oh, they really like that guy. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to get them to eat more of this contract. A catcher? Yeah, I'll give you a catcher. That might be about the most that they're willing to give up without giving something back that I don't want to, just to save like a couple million. Who's this guy? Luke Murphy. He's a guy I signed as a minor league free agent. I don't remember him, but okay. Lucas? Yeah, I think I'm willing to trade that guy. Let me double check him. He's got decent stuff, a really good fastball, but he's 24 and struggled in high A. Walked 9 guys per 9. Okay, so we could get Eloy Jimenez, who I know somebody probably like, dude, it's Eloy, but I mean, clearly the White Sox are a little bit over the fact that here that Major League, like the last 2 years, he hasn't done anything for him. He's been like basically league average, and he had a good BABIP. Yeah, I don't know what went on with Eloy last year, but this trade between division rivals, I really like. I don't know why my assistant GM doesn't like it. Like, I'm fine giving up this guy, like, shown some improvement with his stuff. How old is he? 21. Definitely fine giving up that guy. Definitely fine giving up that guy. I mean, again, Bubic, I think, you know, he's the kind of guy you could see a next step out of, but man, this addresses such a need, and cheaply too. Let's take Diaz out of it. Are they still want to do it? No. All right, so I'm going to eat 5% more of the deal and keep Diaz, the younger pitcher who has shown some improvement and stuff. Chris Bubic, man, I hope you go and do great things in Chicago. But we're going to bring in Eloy Jimenez to bat in the middle of our lineup. And hopefully we get the good Eloy. The fan interest only increased slightly. So, yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. Right, did he go on the... Come here, you big lug. The active roster. So I will, of course, set these lineups up eventually, but let's see what Gibbons thinks about adding Eloy. He'd make him his DH. He would keep Dylan Moore in left. I mean, Dylan Moore's rated really well in left in this game. But Eloy would bat cleanup. So, yeah, man. Imagine if the White Sox traded Eloy within the division. How nuts that would be. So the White Sox are going to eat 35%. So pretty happy about that. What do we have? I mean, we still have a lot of money to play with. I could, like, go get Joey Gallow still. I could still go get Joey Gallow. I don't know if I want to. What's, like, Michael Brantley doing? I know he didn't have a great season. I know he's old. So, you know, he'd come in like 10 mil per year cheaper than Gallow. That the ask is nuts there on the years. What time is it, guys? All right, I gotta cut this recording off soon. By cut it off, I mean just like stop recording. I'll pick it up later. Yeah, I don't know. Should I still go and get Gallow? What would happen at that point? So I guess, you know, I think Eloy probably would be my DH. He's not an amazing fielder, but man, that's a lot of pressure on that bat. That 108 WRC plus bat, Eloy. You better come to play if you're my DH. Could you imagine Eloy and Gallow in the middle of my lineup? I think I still kind of want to do it. Like, yeah, I still want to go make an offer to Joey Gallow here. So 7 years, 27.2 mil. I'll agree to that if he'll make this a team option with a $5 million buyout. The 7 years. I'm not going to agree to his AAV just yet. So we're going to use that for all. The first 3 years, we're going to leave low this time. We're going to bump, 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 bump. 26, 26, 26. Let's bump these to 30. So I'll basically have a 2-year, $62 million team option at the end of it. This is only at 25.7. I think I need to get that a little higher. So this is at 26.2. 26.5, and he's looking for 27. I'm meeting him at a 7 years. I don't know if he'll be cool with that team option, but let's see what he says. Nah, he's very not cool with that team option. Damn. So it's going to take a 7-year deal to bring Gallow in. He's making that abundantly clear. Signing him till the age of 35. And man, like low contact guys, do they age as badly and out of the park as they do in real life? Because gosh, that worries me. I mean, I could bring in Jose Abreu to DH. Just piss off White Sox fans every half. Abreu and Eloy in the middle of my lineup. How are we looking at, like, do we need it to be a lefty bat here? And Pascantino's not going to be in. Get out of here, man. Yeah, Melendez would be in. Lopez, Melendez, they'll both be in. Mondesi will be in the lineup. So we'll have 3 lefties basically when we face righties. I think that's fine. Perhaps it makes more sense to pursue a guy like Abreu or a Brandon Belt. Oh, Belt was real bad last year. Wow. Perhaps that makes more sense. I love how Gallow would fit on this team as left field, just a big bopper, a lefty bat. I just can't believe he hasn't taken any of my deals and then come back to me like, no, actually I need this. Jonesy, I'm going to copy and paste. No, I can't copy and paste because it does the back button. I know you can copy and paste, but the way that I do it doesn't. All right, we're going to do 22 here. 22 here. And he was a no trade clause too. This deal is getting crazier. It's kind of fun to play it a little bit differently than I normally would. 22, 22, 26. 26. So this is a 7-year, $25.4 million deal. He wants a 7-year, $28 million deal. But I haven't offered him like straight up 7 years as he wants it yet. I've put in an opt-out with 6 years. I put in a team option here. No trade clause. Yeah, this deal's a little crazy, but I'm gonna see what he says. All right. Expect to hear from me soon. Sounds good, Joey. I'm a little bit terrified and horrified that I just offered you that deal, but we're here for fun. So we're on Friday. Let's see if we hear back from him by the start of next week. No word back just yet. Please increase the money. Man. Now he just wants straight 7 years, $29 million. At what point do I pivot to Abreu? Soon. But we're not at that point yet. We're not at that point yet. $7 years, $27 million. The potential dollar value is $200 million. As the freaking Kansas City Royals for a guy who's going to strike out 40% of the time by like year 3. This is a Chris Davis deal written all over it, man. So I'm like $2 million below his AAV that he came back asking for. He's not into it. He's not into that team option. He lowered his overall ask. He lowered it from $29.2 per year to $28.4. All right, fine. I'll guarantee that 7th year. You jerk. I'm stuck on this 22 this year. Don't ask me why. This deal is crazy, man. I should just walk away. I can't quit you, though, Joey Gallow. I can't quit you. This is a lower AAV than I offered last time. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, Joey. It would be a dream to have you in our lineup. It would be a true dream. I mean, Sal Perez's deal is coming off eventually. Then we've just got another overpaid guy on our team. I mean, this deal could blow up in year 1. Like, I don't know, Joey. I just don't know, man. What's going on with Carlos Correa? He's wanting more money now. 9-year deal worth $42 million per year. And how's Xander doing? 8 years, $25 million per. What kind of year did Xander have last year? Pretty good one. I mean, it looks like his defensive value brought it down, but he'd be playing some left field for us. He's 30. I don't know. Should we get into the fray with Xander here? And I mean, he'd be an okay enough left fielder. He's a very good hitter. I trust him a bit more than Gallow. I think his skill set is better. It's less fun. It's definitely a less fun skill set than Gallow hitting 700 home runs with 700 strikeouts. Ay. All right, so I'm going to call it here. I'll do some thinking. Maybe I'll come back and have signed one of these guys, but I'm going to look around some more. But welcome to KC, Eloy. All right, so I was thinking, if we're going to get into a contract that I'm going to regret, like, let's go get the best player on the market. So I've offered a deal to Correa. His rumored demand, which was his demand when I went, it was 9 years, $42.2 million. I offered him, and he's interested, I offered him 8 years, $280 million. It's basically like between 30 and 35 for the first 6 years, and then he has an opt-out, and the last 2 years it's $40 million. And he has said essentially that he thinks we have a deal, but he wants a little more time to think about it. He said that on the 9th. We're now at the 12th. So, I mean, let's skip ahead a little bit. Let's see if we can bring in, let's see if he'll commit to us here. Live. Not live, but, you know, recording, while recording. Nothing from him yet. We're just going day by day, man. This will be a franchise changer. Oh, no. Oh, no. The Phillies came in. The Phillies are the team who swooped in on Joey Gallow, too. Yeah, jerks. So he's looking for 8 years, $39 million per. 8 years, $319. I asked him 8 years, $280. Yeah, we can't do that much, man. It's fine. You can have the player option at the end. Oh, oops. I wasn't trying to decrease by millions there. I was trying to decrease by 100,000s. Just do straight up 40. So this is an increase of basically like a little over 15 million in value from me. He's not into it. He wants 39.9, 329 million. I cannot do 34 million this year, man. I cannot. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more even. And we'll bump up this year. And then I got to say, God bless my wife, man. She's being patient. I told her around 8 times it. Oh, it's only 8:15. We're going to watch an episode of The Good Place. We're in the middle of watching right now. It's like, I'll be done at 7:45 or 8, and then we can watch it. She won't care, though. But what a good, understanding person she is, letting me find my joy here by trying to sign Carlos Correa. I've gotten sidetracked here trying to sign a superstar. Sorry, I'm a little busy. Look, man, is the magic number 300 million? Like, I can get there for you. All right, so now it's an 8-year, $300 million deal. I mean, and then he can opt out after 6 years and $209 million if he wants. I'll have 14 mil left for free agents, which is basically means I'm at budget because I need the draft. We'd move some things around if this were to happen for sure. All right, so he says that sounds reasonable. 8 years, $300 million. Come on, Carlos. Let's go up to the winter meetings. I'm stopping at the winter meetings. If he doesn't let me know by then, I'll take a breather, and then I'll think about it the whole time. Oh, shit, Gallow signed. What did he end up signing for? 7 years with the Dodgers. 7 years, 26.2. I offered him something around there, yeah, but yeah, I think this is right around the best deal that I offered him in terms of AAV. I had more money tacked on at the end and less money at the beginning. But good for the Dodgers, man. Hey, congrats. All right, so we got an update. Made the best offer. Did we win the lottery? No. All right. Where are we going to draft? 19. We were 18, so we got bumped down a spot. By what? Oh, the Guardians got a comp pick. Okay, so we were 18 all along. So do you think he's going to let us know here? In the winter meetings, things definitely happen during the winter meetings. Man, Philly swooped in again. Oh my God, dude. What's Xander doing? Xander's down to 5 years. 27 per. All right, I'm going to revisit that. Yeah. I think bringing in Xander and possibly making him our left fielder might be a good way to go. A little disappointed about Gallow. A little disappointed. I think I would have given him this deal, but he just kept pushing for more, which, like, that's negotiation, right? And you find out how much you can push, and then you come back and take the best deal you can. That's still on the table. We didn't have a deal on the table for him anymore. I hadn't submitted an offer. So, sometimes people say, well, sometimes guys will accept offers way less than what they had said no to me for, which I think can happen, but I don't think this will happen here. I think he ended up getting a deal right around the ballpark I was in, but we had kind of like put the negotiations on pause for a couple weeks. I think that's a good deal for the Dodgers. I think, especially with their budget, just crazy. Where's he going to play for them? Like, our outfield is Gallow, Bellinger, Betts, Muncy, Freeman, Taylor, Burns. Who? Career minor leaguer who came up for them in 2021. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause it here. I don't know, Carlos, man. You're killing me. I'd love to sign Carlos Correa, but I don't know if I'm going to. All right. We'll see what happens here. All right. We're at January 1st, 2023. You'll have to pardon noise in the background if you can hear the washer going. It's in the other room. Nothing I can do about it. So we didn't land Correa. He ended up signing for 8 years, $297 million with the Dodgers, scooping in and really getting guys that I was going after for right around the price of what I was offering. I had kind of bowed out of the sweepstakes when he rejected. I think it was, 8? See, I recorded that like a day or two ago, the last part of this video. You guys just saw it 30 seconds ago, so you'll remember. I think it was, 8 years, right around $300 million. So just like Gallow, it was right around what I offered, which is fine. Like, I had not submitted another counter to his counter. So it wasn't like he rejected, or it wasn't like he had cut off negotiations and then signed with the Dodgers for less. I had kind of not been in touch in like 2 weeks because I just wasn't ready to go beyond the offer I went to. I wish he'd come back to me for those extra $3 million per year, but I guess maybe he preferred the Dodgers, eh? You can't blame him playing in LA over Kansas City as a superstar. I get it, Carlos. So, like I said, I had kind of pivoted at this point, and at the winter meeting, some interesting names came up on the trade block. The most interesting of those names was Rafael Devers, who is now a Kansas City Royal. He's only got 1 year remaining. I don't know that I'm going to sign him to this deal because I don't think as like a small to mid-market team signing a guy who's defensively limited to this kind of deal is what we want to do. I think if we're going to sign these kind of deals, it needs to be for guys who are very good with the glove or, or play a premium position. So I don't know that I'll extend him. So what was the deal? So first of all, Boston retained 55% of his $21 million. But the main guy that they were interested in was an outfield hitting prospect named Tyler Gentry. Tyler Gentry, I don't know. My scout is lower on him than OSA. He's 23. Last year he was in Double-A and was just about league average. I don't know. he was not a guy I was necessarily looking to trade because I don't have a ton of hitting prospects, and he was one of my better ones. But he certainly wasn't going to be like a hold up in a deal for Devers. So he was the headliner, but there were some other fairly significant pieces. They asked for Tyler Anderson, who I think I'd said earlier, I don't normally, when I do make this work now, I don't include guys who are like over 30 and not on the 40 man. But that's kind of like to avoid like a shortstop for some reason in A ball and putting up like a 150 WRC plus, but should never play above like AA, and the computer valuing them. Anderson's actually a major league quality player, and I think I would have considered adding him to my 40 man. A lot of teams were interested in him, and so the Red Sox actually have him on their 40 man, so or in their rotation. Actually, I think he's like the number 4 starter right now. So he went. Nick Margevicius, he's a Mariners prospect in real life, so all you Seattle fans can correct me. So he's 26. I think maybe you could see a fringe major league player here, but he was off our 40 man, and they were interested in him. I wasn't interested in him. And then Richard Lovelady, who is a guy who is probably going to be pitching in our bullpen, a pretty good reliever. So I think the Red Sox got Lovelady and Anderson, who are major league pitching staff pieces from this year, plus Tyler Gentry, the prospect, for 1 year of Rafael Devers. Now, we also got them to throw in Hudson Potts. They were really not willing to throw in any prospect, but they must have been like real low on Potts or something. The contact and avoid Ks are concerning. He is 24 and just had a terrible season in AA. So I can see why maybe the shine came off on him he struck out in almost 37% of his plate appearances and put up a 69 nice OPS plus in AA. So he'll be in AAA for us, I think. Hopefully he can have a bounce back year. So that's what we did with the bat situation, right? So Devers can DH for us. He could play some first and third, but really his home is DH, I think. Which means Eloy, with his kind of very average at best glove, will be our everyday left fielder, which is fine. I would have liked to have had the player. I would have liked to have pushed Eloy to DH, but we've got Eloy and Devers in our lineup now. That's pretty good. This is not what our lineup will look like. This is what the manager decided to do when I just asked him for fun. So what else did we do? So since Sal Perez is going to end up going to first base for us, I took a catcher in the Rule 5 draft, Chase Barrera. He's a leader. He's a righty bat, which Melendez is a lefty. He had really good stint with the Astros last year. He wasn't too good in AAA, but at the major league level, he put up a 111 WRC plus. He walked in 14.5% of his plate appearances. He's just a backup catcher. I don't think he's going to play too often, but he was a Rule 5 pick. We also got a Rule 5 pick, Tommy Romero, who is a 25-year-old pitcher who can start, and he's got good stuff, okay movement, decent control, and then an excellent curveball, really good fastball, a good changeup. He pitched last year in he went between A and AAA. He pitched 21 innings in AAA and put up an ERA of 3. We'll see if he sticks around. I just think a guy this young with this good of a curveball and fastball and decent stuff, who has the ability to start, I thought he was worth taking. My scout recommended him, and so that's what got him on my radar. So here he is. He's not going to pitch there in my bullpen, I don't think, but he will be, he's obviously going to be on the opening day roster, or he's going to be back to whatever team he was on. In terms of other moves, we still have room on our 40-man. We still have 2 spots left. I added a bunch of guys for the Rule 5 draft. We did lose a couple guys in the Rule 5 draft. We lost Zach Weilman, who I considered adding, but I didn't because he's 26. He's going to be 27 by opening day, and he's never pitched in the majors. He was in AAA last year and put up about a league average ERA and FIP. He's got, a really good fastball, a good curveball. He's pretty similar to Romero, honestly, but like almost 2 years older. So yeah, and his stamina isn't as good either. So I was thinking about adding him, and he was actually the first guy taken in the Rule 5 draft. The Red Sox took him. Were the Red Sox the worst team in the league last year or something? What? Wow, they were. Wow, the Red Sox went 58 and 104. Man, no wonder they were looking to tear down a little bit. I did not realize they were that bad. That's crazy. And Devers had a really good year for them too. Wow. Yeah, what did Devers put up? Devers put up 4 wins for them, 136 WRC plus. He had a good season, but that team was bad last year. So yeah, I mean, I think I have another offer out. Let me see. Oh man, the sink just started, or the washer just started draining, so it's about to get even louder. Sorry about it. Free agents, pending offers. I do have an offer out to Will Smith because he's a lefty. The pitcher, Will Smith. He's a fly ball pitcher, which I don't love, but man, that slider and fastball are awesome. The stuff is awesome. Control is good. I offered him 1 year, $2.8 million. His contract demand was definitely not 1.7. His contract demand was like over 3. He pitched really well for Atlanta last year. He put up a 2.14 ERA, a 2.98 FIP, 3 R WAR, 1.8 WAR. So hoping that he will come aboard. I'll certainly spend more on him if I have to, a bit more. We still have some money to spend. Remember, I want to keep around $15 million available for the draft and international free agency, and then we don't want to totally take it down to 15 because I would like to have some ability to add guys at the deadline. One guy I've been keeping an eye on, and I haven't checked in on him in a little bit, is Mike Clevenger. Who, you remember, tore his rotator cuff. Has he signed anywhere yet? No, he is not. So he's out for 4 to 5 months. So what? He's going to be back like May-ish, probably. Oops, no, I don't want to offer him a minor league contract. So I've thought about offering him a deal. The Braves made the best. What I would like to do is get him on a team year with a team option, and for much less with it. So if I could get him for like $6 to $8 million this year, I would do a team option for like 13 to 15 mil. And if he comes back and he's healthy, I'll exercise the option, obviously. So that's one thing I'm keeping an eye on. I don't know. I mean, I would like to add a starter. I feel like I have a lot of depth at starter, but not a lot of quality. You know, I think Singer is good. I think after that, some question marks. Can Hendricks be healthy? He's also 33. Keller, Marsh, Kowar, Romero will be in the mix. Carlos Hernandez will be in the mix. But I'd love to add another starter who could slot into like the 2 or 3 slot. All right, so I'm going to probably skip ahead a good bit here and come back and wrap up the offseason. All right, we're now up to March 27th. Spring training just ended. We escaped spring training with no injuries, which was like awesome. Made a couple moves in February. So Dylan Coleman was a very usable bullpen arm, but I just have a lot of depth on my 40-man with bullpen arms like this. And some teams seem interested in him. I also shipped off Ronald Bolanos. He was another guy who I just didn't really have room for him. He's 26 too, but the Diamondbacks were interested in him. But I was able to get a couple hitting prospects for the upper minors, which I think I needed. My upper minors is pretty barren with hitting prospects, especially since I drafted all high school guys early in the draft. Got Blaze Alexander, who obviously, pretty problematic issues here with the contact and the avoid case, but he's 23. You know, if he could get these two up to 40, then with this home run power, like, you're looking at possibly a usable player, especially with that infield range of 55, arm of 70. He can probably back up at multiple positions. He could play some corner outfield for you. So hoping that we can see Blaze make some progress. Also got Tim Tawa, who he's got a 55 range in the infield, 65 in the outfield. So he can probably play an adequate second base for you. He could play an adequate or a good left and right field. He could probably be a backup at, almost every position on the diamond. So same issue as Alexander. Not really sure the bat's going to play, but again, wanted to take a chance on a couple higher minor bats. We also signed Corey Kluber to a 1-year deal worth $3,250,069. I was trying to get Carlos Carrasco, who wanted a deal around 8.5, and I was negotiating with him, and then all of a sudden he was just like, I don't want to play for your manager. after like the third round of negotiations. So he went and signed with Colorado. So good luck with that, sir. Kluber did not pitch much, I think, due to injury. Shoulder inflammation. He missed 5 months last year. He's 36. He's got the fragile injury proneness. I probably just lit like $3.25 million on fire. He will probably get hurt. But I think adding a veteran arm was a good thing. Also claimed Forrest Whitley off of waivers from the Astros. He's 25. He's got an option left. So he'll start the year in AAA. He really had a bad year last year. In the majors, he pitched 32 innings and he walked 10.5 guys per 9. In AAA, he pitched 18 innings. He walked 8 guys per 9. Really just a terrible season for him. Doesn't have good personality traits. But look, man, this changeup, fastball, curveball combo can play. He's got the 50 stamina. If he can get that control under control, could be a decent usable arm. We'll see. He did have an ERA of 3 in spring training. I think he pitched like 15 innings or so. So that's the end of the offseason. We'll come back next episode and preview the 2023 season, show you the final 26-man roster, and go from there trying to capture an AL Central crown. Thanks for watching.